A new year, a new start for the Blades.
Last season, Palace away was one of the best fan experiences. Today, my personal highlight was fitting all the cardboard recycling in the small green bin during half time.
In the immortal words of our fearless leader, Ingood Nick, I'm sick of doing this.
Lads.
A new year, a new start for the Blades. 3 p.m. on Saturday. Hallelujah, how football should be, when football should kick off. I'm giving you my pre-match here, thinking as a 16-year-old going to start for Sheffield United. We're still hit by some coronavirus cases by the sounds of things. Other games have been called off, we're not. We're battling on. Is it the right thing? Who knows? Anyway, I'm stood in the snow like John Watson in need of his sheepskin. Orange ball, should we get that out? Will that give us a change of fortune? Who knows? Right, I'll be back with my first half analysis later, guys. Cheers. So having retreated in from the snow to see the team selection, only 6 subs. No George Baldock for the first time in the Premier League for the Blades. Was that because of Zaha, who ran him ragged at Selhurst Park last time? Or was it just giving him a rest? Or was it just giving Jayden Bogle a chance? Who knows? Ender Stevens, left centre back. It's not where Ender Stevens plays, but there we go. Chris Basham started at the back, after 5 minutes was into midfield. But good to see young Antoine Hackford, 16 years old, on the bench. Nice to see a little bit of youth and hopefully a little bit of commitment. So the first half started, and within 4 minutes for a goal down. John Egan looked like he was running through glue. Deflection off Norwood and then off Egan again, took it into the bottom corner. It was 1-0, heads were down straight away. What really was frustrating for the rest of the half is we had possession, but no skill. No craft. It was shocking. They were not even trying. That's how it felt, that they weren't trying. There was no passion, there was no commitment. And in previous games when it's gone against us, there has been that commitment, but that was just lacking today. Let's be honest, a tame Jayden Bogle effort, sort of towards the latter end of the half, was all we had to show for the first half. Jeff Slutt went off injured and Easy came on, and that's what the second goal was, Easy. The Blades had switched off. He just went 60 yards unopposed. Ampadu wasn't even an attempt at a challenge. He was awful. And yeah, it was tucked away nicely. But at 2-0, game, set, match. Generally 1-0 is game, set, match in Sheffield United, so 2 definitely was. John Fleck at Brighton was taken off after half an hour. Well, on that showing, he could have gone off after 10 minutes. He may as well have sat next to me. 2-0 down at the break. Not great. Could the second half produce a miracle? I somewhat severely doubt it. Happy New Year, Blades.
The second half, as is tradition, followed the first. I think what this lacked in excitement, it more than made up for in tedium. Last season, Palace away was one of the best fan experiences. Today, my personal highlight was fitting all the cardboard recycling in the small green bin during half time. The second half saw no quality movement off the ball from the midfielders. Norwood constantly forced to keep sort of pinging it out wide. McGoldrick dropping so deep. At times it felt like he was behind Ampadu. The service for the strikers, absolutely awful. Bogle, he looked interested, in fairness, definitely trying to impress. And when he eventually took his man on, he found Basham for a shot from Hackford, who could have actually squared it to an open fleck, but that's being very harsh on him because he did the right thing. He's a striker, and I think he will go on to score goals for us. But it sort of epitomised the fact that we sometimes choose the wrong option in the final third. Being the story of the season, we lacked real pace. There was no aerial threat at all. There actually worryingly appeared to be no leaders on the pitch. This was a Palace team that have picked up 3 points from their previous 5, and they didn't have to work for this. They weren't good, and they didn't have to work for it. Just moments of magic, particularly Eze's goal. All our shots looked like they were going to be saved, and they were. 6 subs out of 9 as well. I want to mention this, and Rodwell still not on there. What a waste of a signing. What a waste of a wage. I have no real thoughts. I've gone through all the stages of grief. I'm at acceptance now.
So folks, player ratings, manager rating from a rather abject 2-0 defeat.
Ramsdale, 6.5. Not at fault for the goals, really. Not much to do all match, really, in fact. Dropped the ball again in the second half. This seems to be a regular thing of his, but then claiming the ball when it comes back in again. Also died for Ayew's shot, which was going well wide. For me, this is a weakness of Ramsdale, as he tries to save every shot. Even shots that are going well wide or the defender's clear when they get there, it just worries me. It seems to think he has to save every shot. Bogle, 6. Premier League debut, signed as a deputy for Baldock. For me, it would have been nice to see them both playing today, really. He had a shot on target at 43 minutes, which was our only shot on target until the very end of the match. Could have had Zaha sent off, and for me, should have done. We don't want to do this sort of thing, really. We don't want to cheat. I know Wilder doesn't like that either, but if anyone's deserving, it's Zaha. Ampadu, 3.5. Great through ball for Bogle's shot on target, but that's about it. He's a liability. Doesn't challenge for the ball. When he does, it's quite half-hearted, or at least to a foul. And maybe he doesn't play, actually, if we have more players to choose from, and he actually becomes this season's Panos Retsos. Egan, 6.5. Nice ping in the first half. That seems to be a regular occurrence of his. Raced out of defence for a commanding clearance as well. Second half, marauding out of defence quite a bit and made some good important blocks. But really, the defence was all at sea for the goals, and that drags him down a bit. Stevens, a 6. Played at left centre-back today, previously been awful in that position, but actually not too troubled today. Still managed to be effective, a couple of good through balls. But after 2 good performances in the last couple of matches, I would have preferred to have seen him at left wing-back, really. Instead of Osborne, 5. Lots of endeavour, very little quality. Didn't stop running, but was subbed in 80 minutes. Basham, 6.5. 300th appearance for the club legend. The guy could play up front, really, and he'll put a shift in. But he's a right centre-back, he's not a right midfielder. He does much better marauding out of defence and overlapping. For me, he's wasted in midfield. It's a bit like Jags under Warnock's era in the Premier League. In the promotion season that year before, he played in midfield and defence. In the Premier League, we identified he was a better defender. Same for me for Basham. He's a right centre-back, let's play him there. Norwood, 5. Some great passes, but also some awful passes. A couple of attempted famous pings of his fell short, and he got his inevitable tactical booking as well. Fleck, 4.5. Better in the second half, probably would have been a 3 based on his first half performance. A couple of shots from range towards the end of the second half and some better forward passing. But maybe he's lucky to be playing based on his recent performances and only really playing because of injuries and suspensions of other players, which has helped him. Mousset, 4.5. Starved of service, once again. None of the strikers dropped deep today. That seems to be an instruction from the bench. After we got into good positions in previous matches, but we had no one in the box to finish the chances from crosses and passes. But he got another 60 minutes in his legs before he was then subbed. McGoldrick, 7.5. Quite a high rating for me, without him actually scoring, but he never stopped all game. The guy's a legend. Tried to make things happen, he was composed and inventive, whilst everyone else around him was losing their heads, or they were shying away. And he had a shot on target from range at 93 minutes. Of the subs, Hackford, 5. Premier League debut for the young guy at 80 minutes. Difficult to rate him, really, within 10 minutes to play. But hey, he got a shot on target at 90 minutes. Fleck was unmarked at the back post, but I won't criticise Hackford for that because, hey, the guy had a shot on target within 10 minutes, which other strikers haven't achieved in a full 90. So well done to him. Brewster, 5. Came on at 60 minutes. Once again, starved of service. Didn't do anything particularly of note, whether right or wrong, but for me, he should have started or come on at half-time. And the gaffer, a 4 from me. Hard to criticise him too harshly. 9 players out, he could only name 6 subs. But for me, moving Ender to left centre-back was a mistake. And it's another change in a season full of changes. Our strength last year was having a settled side. Everyone knows their roles and responsibilities. This allowed players to play at their best and even beyond their best. But too many changes this season just eroded that away. No subs at half-time when we did nothing in the first half. And only 2 subs used in the whole game. With lots of players out, lots of games to play, so for me, why not bring on Baldock as a third sub? Move Bogle forward, give Bash a rest or someone else. Bit of a failing for me.
In the immortal words of our fearless leader, Ingood Nick, I'm sick of doing this. I am sick to death of all of us getting on here and saying the same stuff week in and week out. Positives and negatives, that's what this 2.5 minutes of your life is supposed to be. Antoine Hackford, 16-year-old, got to make his Premier League debut. Positive. everything else, negative. From the formation we came out in, which I've been watching football 37 years, I was confused by what I saw. Bash pushed up into midfield, Ampadu in the Basham role, Norwood, kind of in the old Norwood role, but kind of next to Basham, and Fleck and Didsey kind of next to each other, and Mousse playing alone up top. I mean, it was just disjointed from the get-go. But worse than disjointed, it was toothless, it was timid, it was tepid, it was full of fear, it was full of no conviction. It just lacked everything that a Chris Wilder Sheffield United performance has been. Everything that we've been used to. I mean, there's no positives to pick out of that. They're not playing for their manager, they're not playing for their shirt, they're not playing for their fans, and I'm sick of it. I think every fan, no matter how much red you bleed, knows we're down by now. So why not just come out and attack the game with nothing to lose? You've got 2 points. Just run at the other team, pass, move, shoot on sight. We don't care. We've seen the worst possible Premier League performance by a team since ever. So we don't care if you lose in a new way. We don't care if you lose 5-1, 5-2. But just attack. Why on 79 minutes am I seeing you play the ball backwards to the goalkeeper and try to figure out a way how to play it through the defense when you're down 2 goals with 10 minutes left? The fact of the matter is, we don't know how good Brewster is. We don't know how good Hackford is. We don't know how good Burke is. We don't know how good Mousse is, because we don't play any balls up to the strikers. We do nothing to get our strikers involved. So there's really no positives to pick out of this performance. This was just, it lacked everything. And in a season full of disappointments, we might have somehow reached a new low today. So Happy New Year. Up the Blades.
Another loss. 2021 did not start the way we wanted it to. So where do we go after this game? Well, the next game is the FA Cup tie against Bristol Rovers. Traditionally, this is the type of game where we'd want to maybe start some of our subs or younger players who don't get a lot of game time. Unfortunately for us, however, I think that we're probably going to have to put out our strongest team, if not mostly the full starters who are healthy, either back from injury or not on the COVID list. Reason for that is we need to get a win. This team desperately needs some sort of positive performance to turn this form around. The team is trying out there, and you can see that, but there's still just a lack of confidence in the ability to score and prevent goals that we should be preventing. So a positive result, a win away at Bristol Rovers, even if it's the FA Cup, even if it's a competition that we're not going to win, that doesn't really matter. The result will matter for this team. And then moving forward after that, we've got Newcastle midweek game at home. It's one that we probably can get something out of. Again, if we were in better form, I'd say a draw or a win would be likely. But still, it's another one where if we can get a result there, build some momentum, then the rest of the season, at least we can look like we're not going to embarrass ourselves. Formation wise, I think, props to Wilder. He at least tried something different today, but unfortunately it didn't work. Ampadu at the backfield, Basham in the midfield to start. That's just not the answer. And unfortunately, I think with the players we have, until everybody comes back and is healthy, we're just going to have to keep slotting players in where we can. I know we heard a lot of cries for Ampadu going back to Chelsea now, stop his loan, send him home kind of thing. But unfortunately, we probably need the bodies more than anything. The only possible saving grace I think we have on the personnel side is maybe getting a couple defenders or midfielders in on loan from different clubs. So in that case, maybe we send Ampadu home instead of in place of getting another player like a Jesse Lingard or who we've been linked with. So we'll have to see what the January transfer window holds for us. We desperately need some help, and that was evident today. So, but best we can do as fans is support the team, root for a big win on Saturday against Bristol Rovers and a big turnaround in form.